People don't talk that much about Bitcoin these days, or at least not like they were a couple of years ago in these circles. But it's been on a nice run. What's driving it, and how much further does it have to go?
Well, the core constituents of Bitcoin have continued to work on developing the network, making it better, more robust, building tools around it. And that's been happening quietly in the background, even though Bitcoin hasn't been in the news quite as much. And it's being used increasingly for some of the applications that it was always touted for. Cross-border remittance, paying online, low level of banking in places that don't have other possibilities. So it's starting to live up to its promise. It's also starting to serve some shorter-term goals, like helping capital come out of China. That's driving some of the volume. But overall, there's more and more optimism within the core constituents of Bitcoin that it'll become useful going forward.
But outside of the core constituents of Bitcoin, the word that you hear more and more is blockchain, and you don't really hear the use of the word Bitcoin. Is blockchain superseding Bitcoin now?
Only in terms of investments by the big banks. Those are two separate things. Bitcoin is going to be very useful for payments applications, banking-like applications. Blockchain is a whole other universe of helping banks trade assets, exchange assets in a much more efficient way, reduce back office costs, help with real estate transactions. So blockchain is a very broad tool that can be useful for a lot of asset classes. But Bitcoin is still very useful for the original purposes of payments and low levels of banking.
So you don't buy this idea that the underlying technology of Bitcoin is very interesting, but that ultimately it's all about that technology and that the currency, Bitcoin itself, will fall by the wayside. You think specifically, or the currency or whatever you want to call it, that capital B Bitcoin will continue to thrive and be a bigger and bigger deal?
Oh, it's absolutely both. Bitcoin is going to be useful for some applications, and that underlying technology of blockchain is going to be useful for other applications. And 20 years from now, I would expect most financial services to be delivered on one type of blockchain or another. Either it's a permissioned private blockchain that helps banks settle certain types of securities, or it's Bitcoin that helps people move money from US to Philippines for near nothing instead of paying Western Union 10%. Both will be useful. Bitcoin also has other features that people find interesting. It's an uncorrelated asset class. It's a safe haven asset class that used to be only the purview of gold. But now, as people are afraid of all assets going down with a correlation of 1, Bitcoin's becoming a safe haven just like gold used to be. And so that's another feature of Bitcoin that's helping the price and will serve its purpose going forward.
I like what you said about blockchain and how that might be really where the institutions find value in Bitcoin. Last month on Bloomberg Go, Digital Asset Holdings CEO and former JP Morgan banker Blythe Masters weighed in on blockchain adoption and where she sees that technology going. Take a listen.
There will be businesses that grow up out of this from scratch that are completely new. There will be other businesses that fail and are disintermediated as a result of this. And there will be businesses that do what most people did with the internet, which is adapt, adopt, use it to provide better services for customers, and see it as a tool. And there'll be all of those things, and that will take a period of time that has started already now and is going to continue for the next 5 to 10 years at least before you could say that this technology has become genuinely mainstream or more common than not.
Gil, will more widespread adoption of blockchain technology by institutions then promote Bitcoin on an institutional level?
I believe so, because what these institutions are going to find that after they implement blockchain for certain types of solution that make more sense for a permission blockchain where they only share information with certain banks, they'll realize that being able to move value in a seamless, inexpensive way cross borders is also something they're going to want to do. So once they get comfortable with blockchain as a technology, I believe longer term they're also going to adopt Bitcoin as a technology for moving money across borders, between units, and across businesses in a value chain.